Okay, now we are going to the third video. Actually, I was not able to complete the topic evolution of microprocessor in my second video. Okay, so now let us continue with the same topic. In the last video, we were actually studying about 32-bit processors. Okay, and we already looked at the first 32-bit processor, which was 80386. Okay, which was highly popular and the best-selling microprocessor in the history. Okay, that was 80386. The second 32-bit processor that they invented was 80486. Okay, so now let us continue with the same topic itself, that is 80486. Okay, which was the second 32-bit processor. So it was actually implemented, or otherwise was designed with the help of 1.2 million transistors. Its clock speed ranged from 16 megahertz to 100 megahertz based on various versions, and this microprocessor also existed in 5 versions. Okay, and these versions are 80486 DX, SX, DX2, SL and DX4. Okay, so 80486 it not only existed in one version alone. Okay, 80486 microprocessor had its chip designed in 5 different forms. Okay, and these 5 different forms are listed in terms of its 5 versions. Okay, and also the concept of cache memory was introduced. So, in the processor 80486, they introduced the concept of cache memory, and that too with a size of 8 kilobytes. Okay, the concept of cache memory was introduced when they invented 80486 microprocessor, that is shown in this figure. So, the next microprocessor, that is 32-bit microprocessor, is the Intel Pentium processor, which was invented in the year 1993. Okay, it was originally named 80586, but later it was renamed as Intel Pentium. So, actually 80586 is not existing. Okay, it was actually the name given in the initial stage for Intel Pentium. Okay, the clock speed of this Intel Pentium was 66 megahertz. Okay, and the database capacity is 32 bit and the address bus capacity is also 32 bit. It is able to address 4 GB of memory and able to execute 110 million instructions per second. See how much enhancement the history is showing us. Okay, so we actually were in the invention of 4-bit microprocessor, that was 4004, which were able to execute only some hundreds of instructions per second, and now with the invention of Intel Pentium in the year 1993, they were able to execute around 110 million instructions per second. Okay, and also the cache memory concept was also introduced here. Okay, which were able to access 8 kilobytes for instruction and 8 kilobytes for data. That is, the cache memory itself was able to be used in order to access instructions and also to access data. Okay, for which 8 kilobytes were simply specified in order to access instruction and 8 kilobytes were simply used in order to access data. So this is actually the Intel Pentium processor. So the next 32-bit processor that you have to study is Intel Pentium Pro. Okay, so it had a 1.2 cache, sorry, not 1.2, it is L2 cache of 256 kilobyte. Okay, so cache is also existing in different forms. Some L1, L2, L3 types of caches are already existing. So the L2 type of cache was introduced when Intel Pentium Pro was invented with a size of 256 kilobyte. It was able to be designed with the help of 21 million transistors, and it was primarily used in the server systems. Okay, so this particular processor, that is Intel Pentium Pro, was primarily used, that means in the initial stage was used in the server systems. Okay, and also here they had cache memory, which was explicitly used in terms of instructions and data, and also for L2 cache. That is 8 kilobytes were reserved for instructions, 8 kilobytes for data, and a specific L2 cache of 256 kilobytes were used externally. Okay, so this is all about what is actually Pentium Pro is related to. Okay, hope you have understood. And the next 32-bit microprocessor that you have to look onto is Intel Pentium Pro, which was invented in the year 1997. Okay, which had a clock speed of 233 megahertz to 500 megahertz, which was able to execute 333 million instructions per second. And a specific feature or a specific technology emerged in this particular invention, that was MMX technology. Okay, and also L2 cache and processors were also on one circuit. That is the microprocessors that we have studied so far, which use the concept of cache memory, was not actually having its cache within it. Okay, the processor did not have any cache memory embedded within it. But the thing is that when the Pentium 2 was invented, it had the L2 cache in one circuit itself, that is in the circuit of the processor itself. Okay, so this is the actual image which shows a Pentium 2 processor. Okay, so the next 32-bit processor is the Pentium 2 Xeon, which was invented in the year 1998. It was explicitly designed for supporting the servers, and the clock speed ranged from 400 megahertz to 450 megahertz. And it also had two types of caches with it: the L1 cache, which had a capacity of 32 kilobyte, and L2 cache, which had a capacity of 512 kilobyte, 1 MB or 2 MB. It had a varying range of accessing capacity, that is L2 cache had a varying range of capacity, 512 kilobyte, 1 MB or 2 MB. Okay, and also could work with 4 Xeons at the same system. That was a specific feature in which Pentium 2 Xeon was designed. Okay, so this is the actual figure. Okay, so the next 32-bit processor that we have to study is the Pentium 3 processor, which was invented in the year 1999. Okay, the clock speed varied from 500 megahertz to 1.4 gigahertz, and it had a total of 9.5 million transistors which were used collectively for the fabrication of this processor, that is Intel Pentium 3. Okay, so this is a representation of the figure which denotes the Intel Pentium 3 processor. Okay, so the next processor that we have to study is the Intel Pentium 4 processor, which was invented in the year 2000. Okay, had a clock speed ranging from 1.3 gigahertz to 3.8 gigahertz. Okay, and also here they had L1 cache, which had a capacity of 32 kilobyte, and L2 cache, which had a capacity of 256 kilobyte. Okay, a total of 42 million transistors were used in order to fabricate the Pentium 4 processor. Okay, and not only that, all internal connections were made from aluminum and copper. Okay, aluminum and copper materials were used in order to design all the internal connection of this particular processor, that is Pentium 4 processor. Okay, the next processor that we have to study is the Intel dual core processor. But the thing is that either this dual core processor can be defined in terms of a 32-bit processor, or otherwise in terms of a 64-bit processor. That is, this dual core processor, that is what it had a name dual core. Okay, either this processor can be used in terms of 32-bit processor or a 64-bit processor. Okay, and these two cores, I told you it is having two cores. These two cores are having their own internal bus and also L1 cache. Okay, each and every bus is having, so that is what it is shown in this particular figure. Dual core is there, and each and every each and every core is having their own cache, and also the internal bus is there. Okay, and not only that, they'll be sharing the same external bus and L2 cache. So L1 cache and internal buses having of their own. Okay, each and every core, that is two cores are there, each and every core is having their own L1 cache and also internal bus, but they are sharing a common external bus and also L2 cache. L2 cache is there in common for both of these dual cores. Okay, and also external bus is also shared in common, and they supported a new technology which is called as SMT, simultaneously multi-threading technology. Okay, which is seen in an application software which is Adobe Photoshop, like that. Okay, you might be familiar on famous application software which is called as Adobe Photoshop, and Adobe Photoshop also supported this SMT technology, which is simultaneously multi-threading technology. And this technology was actually invented when this Intel dual core processor was invented. Okay, So next, from this processor itself, we are going to study in detail about the processors which were coming under 64-bit processors category. Okay, that as I told you, this Intel dual core existed in both forms, 32-bit form as well as 64-bit form. Okay, so from this point of view itself, it is clear that Intel dual core is considered as the first 64-bit processor. Okay, and the second 64-bit processor was Intel Core 2. Okay, Intel Core 2, which was invented in the year 2006, whose clock speed ranged from 1.2 gigahertz to 3 gigahertz, which used around 291 million transistors for its fabrication. Okay, it has a cache, that is L1 cache of 64 kilobyte. Okay, and a 4 megahertz L2 cache. Okay, and also it existed in three different versions. I told you some processors will be existing in more than one version. Okay, so likewise Intel Core 2 also existed in three different versions. They were Duo, Quad and Extreme. Okay, so this is the figure which represented a Intel Core 2 Duo processor. Okay, so the next 64-bit processor that I have to tell you is that about Intel Core i7. Okay, which was invented in the year 2008. Actually, this Core i7 is having 4 physical cores, no 2 cores. It is having 4 physical cores. Okay, the clock speed ranged from 2.66 gigahertz to 3.33 gigahertz, and it had a total of 781 million transistors for its implementation. And it also had a cache concept and all, that is L1 cache was there with a capacity of 64 kilobyte, and L2 cache with a capacity of 256 kilobyte, and also L3 cache also was supported by them with a capacity of 8 megabytes. Okay, so that's all about the Core i7 processor. Next is the Core i5 processor, which was invented in the year 2009 with also 4 physical cores. The clock speed ranged from 2.40 gigahertz to 3.60 gigahertz, and with a 781 million transistors, the design was completed. That is, this Intel Core i5 was designed using 781 million transistors, and it also used the concept of cache, that is L1 cache was there with an accessing capacity of 64 kilobyte, L2 cache was also there with a capacity of 256 kilobyte, and L3 cache was there with a capacity of 8 megabytes. Okay, so the next 64-bit processor that we have to study is Core i3, which was invented in the year 2010 with only 2 physical cores. The clock speed ranged from 2.93 gigahertz to 3.33 gigahertz, and whose fabrication involved the combined effort of 781 million transistors. Okay, and they also use a concept of cache, that is L1 cache was there with a capacity of 64 kilobyte, L2 cache was used with a capacity of 512 kilobytes, and L3 cache was used with a capacity of 4 megabytes. Okay, the next 64-bit processor is i9. Okay, i9 9880H processor, and the H symbol or the H letter simply denotes the high performance graphic denotation. That is, this processor gave much emphasis to graphical operations and all. Okay, so the H symbol or H letter simply denotes a high performance graphical operation processor. Okay, and it is also having 16 MB Intel Smart Cache. 8 cores are there. i6 threads are there. Okay, and also other features are 4.80 gigahertz max turbo frequency, and also this is considered as the 9th generation processor. So actually this processor is under invention, and it has not gained its popularity in the market because it is just in its invention phase. Okay, so this is the processor that we have to deal in the last slide. Okay, so hope you have understood at least to some extent possible. Okay, based on the various types of processors, and each and every processors were defined in terms of its capacity, that is whether it is 4-bit, 8-bit, 16-bit, 32-bit or 64-bit. And I told you in the previous slide itself that in the previous video itself that each and every processor can be defined in terms of how many bits of data they can process at a time. Okay, so the thing is that all these study of the various types of processors that they have invented from 4004 processor till the processor i9. Okay, the thing is that simply you have to be aware that such types of processors existed so far. That is, they have invented such type of processors, and at least to some further extent possible, what are the various features of each and every processor, at least you have to be aware. Simply you have to understand, or simply you have to read or hear what I have said you based on the details of each and every processor. The thing is that you need not memorize. Okay, there is no need to memorize actually the features with respect to each and every processor. Such type of questions won't be asked for university examination. Okay, but the thing is that as far as your computer science engineering students, at least to some extent possible, you have to be aware on what were the various processors that they have invented so far, and at least to some extent possible you must be aware on some of the features that each and every processor exhibited. Okay, so hope it is clear for you.